Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to Soulful Saturdays with Sailor. Around here, we cut through the noise, ditch the fluff, and dive straight into what matters: spiritual wellness, radical self acceptance, and unapologetic soulful living. Each week, I'll bring you truth with a side of sass, reflections that wake you up, and reminders that you are glorious. So, whether you've got your journal, your coffee, or maybe you're driving, or you've got that wild, messy bun, you are exactly where you need to be. Today's episode: when did you stop celebrating yourself? It's the quiet power of honoring your growth, courage, and becoming. So, hey, souls, we celebrate everything, don't we? Holidays, birthdays, anniversaries. We celebrate when our kids tie their shoes for the first time. We celebrate when our coworker gets promoted, even if we've side eyed them just a little bit. But how often, really, honestly, do we pause long enough to celebrate ourselves? I mean it. Not in the braggy, look at me, I'm amazing kind of way. No, it's the soft, sacred, honoring your own courage kind of way. You know, the quiet wins, the moments you pushed through, the times you choose healing over hustling, the choices nobody else even saw, but you knew they cost you something. Do we give ourselves a little confetti moment for those? Like, hey girl, you handled that with grace. Good job. And listen, I know you all haven't thrown yourselves a celebration in years. How do I know? Been there, done that. You'll throw a party for your dog's half birthday, but you'll forget that you survived a whole season of growth. So today, we're going to talk about why celebrating you, your wins, your resilience, your journey isn't just cute and cheesy. It's necessary. It's healing. It's powerful. Because when you pause long enough to say, dang, I really showed up for myself this year. Yes, I did. Something shifts. And that's what we're going to dive into today. So let's talk about you. Let's celebrate you. Let's honor the journey you've actually walked every day. Are you ready? Let's get to it. All right. So let's talk about the part that we don't like to talk about. Because let's face it, life gets messy. It gets loud. It gets busy. And some days it feels like you're living in a blender on high speed. Yeah, that's a visual. Okay. And somewhere in all the chaos, we forget our wins. We forget the moments that we pushed through when everything in us said, girl, just go lay down. We forget the courage it took just to get out of bed some mornings, let alone show up for work, raise kids, make decisions, chase dreams, or even pretend to be a functioning adult. And listen, I'm not judging. I've had mornings where celebrating myself looked like I brushed my teeth today. Woohoo, look at me. But it's true, right? We forget the small victories because we're so busy running, doing, performing, fixing, trying to be everything for everyone. And I'll be real with you. I've been there. Huh, more than once. There were times I did something brave, something powerful, something that took every ounce of courage I had. And do you know what I did? Nothing. I didn't acknowledge it. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't even see it because my mind immediately went to, okay, cool. But what's next? Or worse, you should have done this sooner. Or how about the classic one? Well, they did it better. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, I know it does because we all do it. And here's the thing, the mindset is exhausting. It drains your soul, it steals your joy, it makes your progress feel invisible, even when you're moving mountains. And the sneaky part, it becomes normal. We get used to downplaying ourselves. We get used to skipping over our wins. We get used to letting that tiny, whispery voice say, you're not enough. You should be more, do more, achieve more. But here's what I want you to hear. That voice gets louder when you don't stop and say, hey, hey, wait a minute. I did do that. I handled that conversation. I set that boundary. I survived that day. I grew in ways that no one even knows about. You see, when we forget our wins, we forget who we are. We forget how strong we've been. We forget what we've overcome. And that's why we're having this conversation today. Because sometimes you just need someone to sit down and have you listen to them fully and say, you're doing better than you think. Give yourself some credit. Yeah, let's do that right now. That's right. Give yourself some credit. Say, woohoo, I did that. Woohoo, I grew today. Woohoo. Yes, do a woohoo for you. Absolutely. Give yourself some credit. All right. So here's where I want to shift the energy a little bit because this is the moment, the pivot, where the conversation turns from, why don't I celebrate myself to, wait. Why shouldn't I? Let's clear something up right now. Celebrating yourself is not arrogance. Nope. It is not ego. Nope. It is not selfish. Heck no. And it is definitely not you being too much. Celebrating yourself is actually one of the most spiritual, aligned, emotionally healthy things you can do. Think about it. You've lived every second of your life. You were there for every tear, every fear, every breakthrough, every breakdown, every moment where you whisper to yourself, just keep going. You, of all people, deserve to honor that. But here's where we get it twisted. We've been conditioned to celebrate everyone else first. We've been taught to clap for other people and then sneak away quietly when it's our turn. It's almost like we believe that giving ourselves credit somehow makes us less humble or less kind. And here's the truth. Self celebration is an ego. It's acknowledgement. It's you saying, I recognize the energy I've poured into my life. I honor the strength I've had to find over and over. I am proud of how far I have come. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. And when you shift your perspective like that, oh, honey, things start to move. Your energy shifts, your self talk shifts, your posture shifts, your confidence grows. Not because you're pretending, but because you're finally giving yourself the credit you earned. And let me tell you this, when you don't celebrate yourself, the world gets unclear. It gets an unclear picture of who you are. But when you do celebrate yourself, gently, lovingly, truthfully, you start showing up in the world as the woman you actually are. And here's the beautiful part: other people feel it. Your kids are going to feel it. Your partner feels it. Your friends feel it. Even strangers feel it. Because honoring yourself shifts your presence. It strengthens your spiritual center. It increases your peace. It deepens your self love. It creates this grounded confidence that doesn't need to be loud because it is rooted. This pivot, this shift into self celebration isn't about becoming someone new. It's about seeing who you already are with clear, kinder eyes. So let's go a little deeper. Let's have this real conversation because I want to share something personal with you. So there was a moment this year where I finally let myself celebrate something that I'd been brushing off for months. It wasn't flashy. Nobody threw me a party. There was no confetti canyon waiting in the corner. Honestly, no one even knew it happened. I knew. So here's what happened. There was this moment, and I remember exactly where I was, what time it was, standing in my kitchen. Ah, my hair's a mess. I'm kind of wearing those clothes only my dog should see. Yeah, you know which ones I'm talking about. And something just dropped. It just dropped into my spirit. I made a decision that took courage. I had shown up for myself in a way the old me would have avoided. I handled the situation with grace that the younger version of me would not have touched with a 10-foot pole. And I thought, wow, I actually did that. Not perfectly, not without fear, but I did it. And instead of brushing past it, instead of minimizing it, instead of saying, well, anyone would have done that, I stopped. And I put my hand over my heart and I closed my eyes and I whispered, good job, girl. Yeah, I know. It sounds simple, but it was everything. Because in that moment, I realized how long I'd been waiting for someone else to notice my growth. How long I'd been waiting for someone else to say, I'm proud of you. And it hit me. Why am I outsourcing something that should begin with me? That tiny moment, that quiet celebration, it lit me up. It shifted my whole day. It made me feel seen by me. And sometimes that's the kind of recognition that heals the deepest parts of our story. Now, I want to invite you into that same moment. Not next week, not in January, not when life slows down or becomes perfect, right now, with me. So go ahead, take a breath, take a nice gentle breath in and just release it. And I want you to put your hand over your heart. And if it feels right, I want you to think of 3 things that you did this year, big or small, that made you proud. Like 3 things that required your courage. 3 things you handled better than you would have last year. 3 things that stretched you, challenged you, grew you. Don't rush. Find those 3 things, just 3, and let them rise. Let them land. Maybe it was setting a boundary. Maybe it was making a scary decision. Maybe it was walking away from something that no longer supports your peace. Maybe it was not giving up when everything in you wanted to. Or maybe it was just taking care of yourself when no one else knew you were struggling. Feel those moments. Let them fill your chest. Let them warm your spirit because that's you. That is your growth. That is your journey. And it deserves to be celebrated. All right. Let's talk about what happens when you actually start celebrating yourself. Yeah, because I want you to feel the difference, not just understand it in your head, but feel it in your bones. Something powerful shifts, and I mean powerful. When you start acknowledging your wins, your growth, your healing, your resilience, you begin showing up differently in the world. It's like your spirit stands up a little taller. Your heart softens. Your confidence expands. Your inner critic gets quieter and your truth gets louder. Celebrating yourself reminds your nervous system, your soul, your whole being, I'm not failing, I'm evolving. And that changes everything. It changes the way you talk to yourself. It changes the way you make decisions. It changes the way you let people treat you. It changes the way you hold boundaries. It changes the energy you walk into a room with. Because when you know your worth, not because someone told you, but because you recognized it, there's this grounding, quiet confidence that rises. A confidence rooted in truth, not ego. A confidence rooted in alignment, not arrogance. Listen, when a woman celebrates herself, she is dangerous to anything that ever tries to dim her. She becomes aware of her own power. She becomes aware of her own progress. She becomes aware of her own possibilities. And here's the beautiful part. The more you celebrate yourself, the more life starts to mirror the celebration back to you. You start attracting people who see you the way you see yourself. You start connecting with opportunities that match your growth. You start living with a sense of peace that doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the inside. And let me tell you, as you shift into this version of yourself, something opens up in your spirit. This deep, quiet knowing that says, I'm worthy of the life I'm building. I am worthy of joy. I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of honoring myself. That's the shift. That's the transformation. And get this, it's not loud, it's not flashy, but it is life changing. It really is. So before we close today, I want you to take one more breath with me. Go ahead right now, just one. Go ahead, take a breath, and then go ahead and release it because I want this to land. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve to be celebrated, not just for the big victories, but for the quiet ones too. For the moments you didn't give up, for the moments you chose healing over hurting, for the moments you kept going when no one else knew how hard it was. Your journey is not small. Your progress is not accidental. Your growth is not invisible. So today and this week and moving forward, Just 30 seconds. Take 30 seconds and celebrate you. Honor your resilience. Honor your courage. Honor your becoming. You don't need a reason. You don't need permission. You don't need an audience because you are the audience, because you are the permission, because you are the reason. All you need is you. So here's your soulful nudge for the day. Take a moment, even a tiny one, and celebrate who you are and how far you've come. Because every win matters. Every step counts. And you, my friend, you're worthy of celebrating. You are worth celebrating. This was our Soulful Saturday episode with Sailor. When did you stop celebrating yourself? The quiet power of honoring your growth, courage, and becoming. So thank you for sharing this Soulful Saturday with me as you move through your week. Carry this truth in your heart. You are worthy, you are radiant, and your presence matters. And never forget, stay soulful, stay sassy, stay you. I'll see you next Saturday. Oh, my beautiful soul. So, same time, same vibe, same glorious energy.